Hey guys, it's ExandShadow, and welcome back to Let's Play Trauma Center New Blood. In the last part, we saw how Peach and Zelda see the world, and in this part, I assume that we're gonna try to escape, but seeing as this mission, I should say, is titled No Escape, I don't think there's much hope for that.
What's going on?
We have no reason to believe that a rescue team is on its way, and there's been no talk of a ransom.
Why wouldn't there be a rescue team on the way? I mean, Marcus and Valerie, just, in addition to being high-profile doctors, also have tons of information about stigma, and are, at this moment, the only people who we've seen capable of treating the illness. I'm pretty sure that they'd have people be all over this case. Then again, Professor Wilkins got kidnapped too, and they didn't really give a shit when they were trying to find him either, so I can't say I'm too surprised. Oh, look at that! It's miscellaneous druggie from California. And now he's in Maryland. Huh. Oh well, I'm pretty sure we don't give a shit about miscellaneous druggie who, you know, kidnapped us and shit, but... Oh man. We're gonna end up operating on him, aren't we? Oh, fuck. Man, that sucks. Okay, now, I also don't get how he didn't manage to get away. I mean, really, he said he had a new car, so really all he has to do is drive home for the night, and then drive away. You know, no, don't come to work the next morning, you know? It's not that hard, man. Come on. Then again, I can't believe that he's really the smartest guy in the world, so I'm not too surprised that he didn't make it. But anyway, he kind of got shot with a shotgun, which sucks, so we're gonna have to treat him. Oh, this is a gimmick operation, so I should probably go over that too. We don't have the vital stabilizer this operation. You know, the green stuff that we use to raise our vitals and I spam endlessly in every operation? Yeah, we don't have that. And also, we don't have a whole lot of antibiotic gel left. If you run out of antibiotic gel, you can't use it anymore. So this is actually one of the harder specialty operations, and one that I actually really enjoy because the game is requiring you to think for a little bit. You know, you have to keep track of your supplies, which is something that I actually think that they did more in Trauma Center games. I mean, yeah, in this game, if you use your tools too much, they will break eventually, but they'll always come back, you know. You're very rarely required to gauge how much antibiotic gel you need to use. It's hard, you know. You have to think about what you need to do, and I like that challenge. It makes you really appreciate the stabilizer and the antibiotic gel when you've got very limited access to them. So anyway, the actual operation aspect of this operation would be relatively simple if we had all of our tools readily available, but since they're not, it's not really. Basically, you need to barely tap the A button if you want to have enough antibiotic gel to make it through this section. You gotta suck up the blood, put a pad on it, take out a pellet if if you need to take out a pellet, and then use the antibiotic gel to deal with to finish it up. So yeah, just there I wasted a little bit of antibiotic gel, and that's not good because there's enough to make it through if you're careful, but you don't want to be wasting any of it. Also, there's no way to really up your vitals in this situation. If your vitals go down, they're just going to keep on going down. You don't have any way to raise them, which is bad. So not only do you have to be careful, like not make any mistakes, you also have to work relatively quickly because your vitals are going to be going down constantly just due to wounds being there, you know. So again, I do like the challenge aspect of this mission where not only do you have to be careful and you have to gauge your resources, you also have to, you have to operate quickly because otherwise it'll die anyway. Thankfully, nothing really unexpected otherwise shows up, so they don't throw any curveballs at you, but again, even though this is a short and simple operation, I really do like this added difficulty here, because it's a layer of difficulty that makes sense, is unique, and I actually really enjoy. It doesn't feel forced in any way, it makes sense considering the situation. So yeah, I ran out of antibiotic gel trying to get rid of the blood for the bandage, but it's not that big of a deal. I probably could have done it if I didn't waste it like I did in a few sections. If you run out of antibiotic gel for like trying to take care of the pads, you can suture it, but I've never ran out of gel that quickly, so I don't know how much vitals the patient will lose if you do that.
The boss has decided to let him live. For now.
Even though he's a traitorous piece of shit that knows everything about us and could easily give us away to the cops, we're gonna let him live.
Well, maybe you'll have a chance to meet him.
Oh. That's it. You know, I really gotta start gauging my snarky comments a little bit better, because otherwise I just got blank spots like that where I'm just expecting someone to say something else, and then nothing happens.
Hey, get up.
Well, anyway, you're not watching this to hear me admit to how much I suck. You're here to watch me you're here to make fun of me for how much I suck. So,
I'm not trying to make small talk. It's a serious question.
Well, you didn't do a very good job at making it seem serious, jackass.
What have you got in store for us now?
Oh, nothing special. Just another operation. Stigma again.
Found yourself a new...
Oh, great.
Hardly. You can blame Mother Nature for this one.
Is that what you tell yourself?
Hey, we didn't plan this one. He was infected by the other patient.
Oh, shit. Maybe doing unauthorized medical research might actually lead to shit like this when you don't have sterilization, proper charting, protection from outside elements, etc., etc., etc. It's almost like your sloppiness might have side effects. Wow, I'm sure you've never considered that before.
Stigma's more dangerous than we thought.
Really? More dangerous than you thought? I'm pretty sure you already thought it was pretty damn dangerous. Mutation. I wonder if Marvel will sue.
Like you did on TV. What's up, Doc? The name's Kidman. I run the show around here.
Please ignore my incredibly stupid hair. It comes with the mask, I swear.
Are either of you doctors?
I'm not a doctor, but I play one in a video game.
You know the drill, right? Don't fail me if you want to live.
Because, you know, killing you would probably be a really stupid idea, seeing as you're the only ones who can do what we want and have the information we need. But I'll kill you anyway.
And what, pray tell,
God,
is that?
evil masterminds are so dumb.
Black market. But you wouldn't know about that, would you, Doc? Stigma is one deadly weapon, especially to the medical industry. So
Why would you want to take down the medical industry? You deal in weapons trade, you know. You kind of, that business has risk for bodily harm, if you know what I mean. You'd probably get shot at some point. You might want a doctor to help you fix up. Getting rid of all the doctors seems like kind of a stupid idea, if you ask me, but hey, I'm not the guy wearing a mask and with a pink afro, so you know what, I obviously don't know anything.
No problem. And the chance of tertiary infection is theoretically zero.
I wonder who he could be. Oh, Professor Wilkins. Marcus catches on to these things remarkably quickly now that I think about it. But then he forgets that he caught on and just sort of pretends that nothing happened.
However,
You're so close, Marcus. You're so close. So anyway, we've got another Onyx operation to deal with right now. Looks like we're trying to do the gold and silver rematch again, but oh wait, sorry, wrong game.
Onyx. Its claws are sharp.
Actually, it's kind of made out of rock, which is kind of blunt, but whatever. Anyway, we're operating on Onyx again. However, unlike the first time, this time's gonna actually be a little bit different. It's not too much harder, but there's a few more areas of it that have changed, so it's not a complete retread, which I like. Especially since, again, we are technically helping Kidman here with his little schemes. I do like that when we're operating on Onyx again, it's harder because we kind of made it harder. We gave them enough information to make Onyx a better stigma, so yeah, kind of our own fault. Anyway, Onyx starts off exactly the same as it did before, you know. You gotta find him hidden in the body and then take care of him the same old way. So, it starts off the same, you gotta do the same sort of thing. Not really that different, so at the beginning of the operation is relatively tame in comparison to the rest of well, it's exactly the same. So if you had no problem with Onyx the first time, you should have no problem with him either. Again, tracking where the real Onyx is going as it's leaving makes finding him a hell of a lot easier. But this is where the major change for Onyx this time. After you do enough damage to him, he'll put up this little cloud of veins. I don't even know what to properly call it. But basically, there's going to be tons of fake Onyx all over the place, and thus it's harder to find the real one, especially since you can't even really track it effectively, since you can't see where it's going as well. So you just gotta search in. I hope you were good at Where's Waldo, I guess, because sometimes it's hard to find. Just look for the circles. Keep your eye on the blue sections, and then just try to find it as quickly as possible. There's no real advice I can give to this, because it's basically, it's your luck, you know. If it hides to the left and you just decide to search to the right, you know, you're not going to be able to find it in time, which, you know, it sucks, but you don't really have a whole lot of control over that. So there's a luck component of it, and then there's a speed component of it. So other than keep your eye open, I can't really give you a whole lot of advice here, so sorry if it's not very helpful, but again, Onyx isn't too hard as long as you manage to take care of the wounds as he's making them, you know. It's not that bad, you don't really lose vitals too quickly, it's a relatively simple stigma procedure. It wasn't completely different, Marcus, it was essentially the same, you know, there wasn't too much of a difference there. I think you're just trying to make it seem a little bit more dramatic than it really is. Because, I mean, yeah, it's harder, but it wasn't that much harder, you know? And god damn it, I got 3 extra bonus sections and I still got a C? Damn it!
They'll join up voluntarily.
The 3 of them are all quite firm.
Maybe if they could... Nah. Only the head honcho would be able to perform such an operation. If they're not willing to
I wonder if they've got another boss. Actually, that's not something that they really bring up until the very end of the game, so... yeah, keep that in mind. That guy, not the real bad guy. Well, I mean, he's the bad guy, but then there's the real bad guy. You know the one. God damn it, I rip off a lot from H.C. Bailey.
Isn't your director here today?
Yes, the guy with the purple hair, you assume? Yes, the guy who looks absolutely nothing like that guy that got kidnapped a while ago? Yeah, he's off doing unimportant plot things. Yes. Totally not related to anyone you know, though. Totally not anybody you could have possibly had any connection to in the past.
Operations for the time being. But there are some experiments I'd like you to perform on human subjects.
What's with the sudden moral, dilemma here, guys? I mean, granted, yes, the guys who were operating on before were sort of, like, life-threatening situations, but saving their lives pretty much just meant that they could live on to be experimented on another day. It might have, in some perspectives, it might have been more ethical to just let them die so that they didn't have to suffer through that sort of thing. So, yeah, I get that, like, experimenting on people that aren't about to die is an unethical thing, but it's not like you haven't been doing unethical stuff beforehand. I mean, yes, it was to save your lives, but still, you know, it's not that much worse than what you're doing right now. I mean, I know you'd still object to it, but
No, it has nothing to do with that. It's more of a confession.
Something that everyone else has figured out by now, but I should probably tell you anyway, since you're one of the 3 people who hasn't.
Experiments. There was something different about one of them. It looked just like the others, but it held a terrible secret inside.
You don't mean...
Yes, he does. Okay, so 5-second spoiler alert. Marcus created Stigma. Yeah. The thing about it is that this plot twist is almost too well foreshadowed. And now, granted, I like it when I can figure things out in a game. Like, the Ace Attorney games, I love it when the foreshadowing is good enough to where I can figure out who the bad guy is beforehand. And that's why I generally like cop shows and crime dramas to begin with. But the thing is that in this case, the foreshadowing was so overdone that I figured out that Marcus was the guy who did Stigma by Chapter 1. It was that extreme, and granted, I like the attempt here to try to connect Marcus to what's going on, but the foreshadowing was just so much that it's if you know for the entire game that Marcus created Stigma and they don't tell you until this point, you know, it loses a lot of its impact when he finally lets it out, you know. And actually, I remember in a Nintendo Power article, and I think it might be in the manual for the game too, but don't quote me on that. But they say in some promotional stuff that yes, Marcus created Stigma. It says that in a Nintendo Power article, and I'm like, and so I read that. I already knew that Marcus was the one who made Stigma. There's no surprise there, so I wonder who let that leak. Because, you know, that you'd think that was a relatively major plot point, you know?
Water torture is our specialty. Let me tell you, it's a sight to see.
Although it is quite a whole lot less convenient than shooting a bullet into your head. But hey, it gives me my... I mean, I graduated from the school of James Bond villainry over here. I need to do something overcomplicated like this.
That'll be the last choice you ever make on your own.
Thanks, but I think I'll stick with the original.
What was that? I can't hear you over because your mouths are covered with water because of my evil Machiavellian trap design.
When I bury you, I'll put surgical instruments in your coffin. That way, they'll be able to identify the body.
Because dental records don't exist 20 minutes into the future.
Use this.
What kind of lock is this, boss?
I found it in a toy store. I have no other use for it. So why not give it a
Really?
Give it a good laugh.
Really? I mean, granted, you know, he's already doing the whole James Bond thing to begin with, but if there's one thing that always bugs me, it's supervillain overconfidence. I mean, really, if you give them a way out, they're going to take the way out, and yeah. And how sturdy can a toy lock be? I mean, they probably would be able to break that just with brute force. Use a padlock, use a combination lock, or use something, anything other than a toy fucking lock. So, yeah, this is the trauma center tradition of having an operation that's not technically an operation. So, yeah. Thankfully, this fits a little bit better than, like, a time bomb or something, but it's not nearly as memorable, unfortunately. So anyway, choose Marcus, because Marcus has the healing touch, which will allow you to slow down time. And that's pretty important since the time limit actually makes sense this time around. You know, water's rising and you're gonna die. So, this is a puzzle, pretty much. And the whole trick around the puzzle is trying to rotate those little gray sections with the Tetris block shapes into making lines to bring these two shapes together. If that makes sense. It's kind of like Pipe Dream if you've ever played that. Basically what you want to do is you want to match colors up. So you see the red arrow and the red bulb thing? You're trying to rotate the pieces so that the red arrow creates a line to the red bulb. You're not trying to match shapes. That's one way you could have interpreted it. But you're not supposed to match shapes. You're supposed to match colors. So yeah, just match colors and you'll pretty much be fine. I'd imagine the first time you try this, you're still trying to figure out what the goal of the puzzle is, because you know you're supposed to match things, but whether you're supposed to match shapes or match colors isn't exactly clear the first time you play, but once you figure out that it's colors, it's really a relatively simple puzzle. Though, fun fact, this is one of the only operations where the order actually or where stuff is arranged changes depends on your difficulty select. If you choose Expert, the colored shapes are actually in a different spot than if you chose Easy or Normal. So, that's something interesting. I think you have less time if you choose Expert as well, so there's that, I guess. And I don't know how you get a better rank for that other than time. Well, I guess time would be the most important factor, and I did almost run out, but whatever.
Outside! We're outside! And we're still alive.
It's a good thing that they gave us an easily escapable option. It's almost like giving them a way out was a bad idea. Actually, though, they got really lucky that Leyland fell asleep. So anyway, next time, are you asking for a challenge? I'm ExandShadow, and I'll see you guys later.